And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Okay, so Monday morning, of course, didn't do an instant reaction to the game yesterday as we drew with Aberdeen 1-1. Again, a late goal kind of saved the day for us and kind of cancelled out the results. Look, I'm not really happy with the draw against Aberdeen, to be perfectly honest with you, but to be honest, in times gone by when we've actually, dropped points in games like this, we've kind of been poor all over the pitch. I think some of the luck or the pendulum didn't swing in our favour in certain ways. Obviously, their goalkeeper made some really, really good saves as well. But as sort of Felipe Camon came out and said after the game, sort of XG, the drive, the commitment to trying to get the 3 points, the head wasn't down, was always there, and we completely dominated with the match. And just sometimes you're just never really going to be able to win every single game. But having said that, we did get a point at a pretty tough ground to go to. Portordri is pretty a tough place to go, and over the years we have struggled at times, but it doesn't obviously help the fact that I still feel very, very disappointed the fact that we dropped points on a weekend where our rivals, who haven't really slipped up too much so far this season, drew at home to Motherwell, was a really, really good opportunity. I know that there's still a game in hand, but it would have been an opportunity to close that gap to 3, and then of course then everything's kind of in your own hands there. 3 seems a lot closer than it does to sort of 5 points, which it is now. I know it's 8 points, but with the game in hand, if we win it, it goes to 5. So yeah, I am pretty disappointed that we couldn't close the gap to that state, but as I said, it could have been worse. It just didn't seem like things were going our way in that game. And obviously, if it wasn't for the penalty at the end, we would probably been talking about a defeat, and we actually would have been a lot further behind in the title race. In terms of the actual game, the actual team itself, again, I am liking what was happening under Felipe Clement. I genuinely am. I really am enjoying what we're doing as a football team, but I still do think there is certain positions that we do need to bolster. We're certainly not the finished article by any means, but it's all about Thursday now, getting back to winning ways in a very, very crucial match at Ibrox against Aris from Cyprus. And as I say, winning that game could have a huge say in what happens post-Christmas with regards to European football. But as I said, we can't dwell on it. We've got so many games, so many important matches coming up over this sort of festive period, and it's very imperative that, as I said, we win as much games as we can, because this is going to have a big, big say on where we finish next year, where we're going to be, what sort of competitions we're going to be winning. All these games are very, very crucial around this sort of festive time. Now, again, I just wanted to come on here and say things. As I said, I'm not going to go too much into the match itself. You've probably seen sort of pundits dive and dissect the match. And as I said, I just gave you my sort of reaction from the game. Not overly happy the fact that we drew, but it wasn't a disgraceful performance from us. I think we did respond very, very well when we went down 1-0, and we were probing, but we just didn't have the luck on the day. Having said that, again, a lot of the conversations now is with regards to Rangers and the penalties. This is a situation that really, really frustrates me. I know it just seems there's a massive anti-Rangers diet, not an epidemic, but an anti-Rangers headspace, mentality towards everything, that Rangers keep getting helped by VAR, Rangers keep on getting penalties, and this is not the situation. This is absolutely not the situation. You've seen the sort of Barry Robson come out, the Aberdeen manager, you've seen sort of Chris Sutton come out, you've seen other pundits, you've seen fans of other football teams saying that there is a conspiracy with regards to Rangers and Rangers getting all these penalties and getting help to win matches, which is absolutely not the case. This is a situation now where we're actually looking at VAR, and they are raising questions. Again, I've not always been the most lauding of our Scottish referees. I don't actually think they're that good, but to start saying that Rangers are only getting penalties to try and help us win games, everybody's in complete meltdown with regards to it. But I just wanted to bring you guys, because there probably will be some opposition fans coming in and having a listen to this, but the situation remains the same. Look, Rangers have had the second most penalties in the league so far this season, behind Celtic, by the way. I think Rangers are on 7, Celtic are on 8, and yes, we've had the large majority of the penalties in our last few games. And that is the trend that I want to point out to fans and opposing fans that think there's a conspiracy with regards to Rangers. The more chances you get, the more times you go into the opposition's box, the more times there's going to be an opportunity there for the the opponents to bring someone down in the box and commit a foul. And that's what we seen yesterday. He pulled the shirt. Some people could say it's not a foul or it's very, very soft. He's pulling Goldson's shirt. In the law of the game, that's it. It's obviously been not seen by the referee initially, but then VAR overruled it and he pulled his shirt. Again, Goldson could have been in a situation there where he could have connected with a header and scored the goal, and he stopped. Their defender stopped a goal scoring or a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity, I believe. So definitely a penalty. Now the situation is, when Rangers weren't really doing stuff under Michael Beale at the start of the season, in terms of we weren't really creating much chances, we were really struggling getting into the opposition's box. We were really struggling just creating chances in general. We got 0 penalties. Again, a lot was made out at the start of the season that Rangers, we got no penalties this season, and that was just down to the fact that we weren't getting into the opposition box enough. We weren't creating enough chances. Under the new manager, we've had a new system, we've got a different style of play, and we are creating so many chances. That Felipe Clement spoke about XG. Again, it's very, very high for us at this moment in time. We are creating a lot of chances, and this is why I haven't got a problem. Usually in times gone by when we have a defeat, have a draw, it's because we weren't creating anything. We're creating loads and loads of chances all the time. We're always getting in, through and behind the defence. We're always getting into the box, and there's opportunities then for the opposition to bring down our players. I just don't see where this sort of conspiracy theory is coming from, that we have all this sort of stuff. Barry Robson, the manager, again, this is a football team's manager, and he's speaking like Scottish football is a disgrace with regards to situations because his player pulled his shirt in the box. And I think we're going too far with it, and I think a lot of opposition fans are going too crazy with this sort of anti-Rangers situation with regards to these penalties, and that's just a clear explanation of why Rangers are getting so many penalties in the last few games. It's a trend. Under Michael Beale, we created no chances, we got no penalties. New management, we create loads and loads of chances. We can penetrate the opposition's defence. We're always getting into the box. There's more opportunity there to receive penalties, and that has been the case. And I just think it's important to try and share that. But again, Celtic currently sit top of the league. They've also got the most amount of penalties. They had 2 penalties in their game. And again, I'm not saying a conspiracy theory at all. I'm simply saying, yeah, Celtic are dominating games and they're getting into the opposition's box more. So I would look at it as a league table. If you're at the top of the table and you're winning more games, you're going to have more penalties. But if you're at the lower end of the table, we've got no points, you're sort of fighting relegation, that usually means you're not really getting into the box. You're not really penetrating defences. You're not really creating chances. Therefore aren't going to be getting penalties. But yeah, the meltdown is continuing. Every single week it seems like there's an agenda against Rangers, but I hope that has, of course, maybe summed up why Rangers have been getting penalties recently. It's a very, very, very clear trend. New managers come in, change the style of play, creating more chances, getting into the opposition box more, so there is more fouls going to be committed, which equals penalties. So, yeah, again, another great weekend of, well, not a great weekend for results, but certainly a great weekend of watching the media and watching other fans, watching opposition managers being meltdown due to Rangers receiving a penalty. I think it's super, super crazy and super, super interesting. But Rangers fans, tell me your thoughts anyway recently with regards to the game yesterday. As I said, let me know down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.